Hey guys, so today's video is going to be my favorite drugstore eyeshadows. I was thinking about what I was going to do for a look today, and I was searching for specific types of colors, and I came across this eyeshadow that I haven't used in a long time, and I thought, you know, these are the best drugstore eyeshadows in my opinion. Why don't I use these more often? Probably because I have a tendency to always reach from my Sephora, Ulta, Macy's, those types of, high-end eyeshadows because, they're more expensive, so you feel more compelled to use them. But when it comes to drugstore eyeshadows, if I was going to chuck all my drugstore eyeshadows or give them away or whatever, this is the one thing that I would have a really hard time parting with because they are absolutely fantastic. And that is L'Oreal Infallible Eyeshadows. So I'm going to go through what my favorite colors are. I don't have all of them. I would love to have all of them someday, but there are so many shades in the permanent line, and then every once in a while they release limited edition colors or have special collections or that type of thing. So I'm just going to show you my top 7. I was going to do 10, but like I said, I don't have all the colors, and I have a feeling if I did my top 10, some of the colors that I don't currently own would probably be in the top 10. I mean, I don't know, I don't have them, but 7's enough, right? I have more than 7, but these are my top 7 of what I own. Now, if you're looking for specific information about these, when they first launched about 4 years ago, I did a very in-depth product review video about them. So if you want a lot of information about the texture, the application, the best tools for these, I would say go check out that video because I still pretty much feel the same way about them as, in terms of everything I said. I went back and watched the video this morning to see if I felt differently about anything, and I pretty much don't. So, yeah, if you want like technical detailed information about the product, if you want a review, I would say watch that video. Just go to my channel page and then in the search box type in infallible review. I would say would probably be the best keywords to use. Don't just type in L'Oreal because that will show you every video that I've ever mentioned or used a L'Oreal product in. So anyway, okay, so these are going to be my 7 favorite L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. Now the price on these is going to vary quite a bit depending on where you buy them. If you buy them at Ulta, they're $8 a piece. If you get them at Christmas Tree Shop or Bed Bath & Beyond or Harmon discount drugstores, they'll be $7 a piece. But if you buy them at Walmart or Target, you can get them anywhere between $5 and change and $6 and change a piece. So if you've been wanting to stock up on these or there's a lot of colors that you're interested in, you might want to get them there because you can save a lot of money. Unless you have coupons or something or points that you want to use at Ulta or something like that. So just keep that in mind. Prices will definitely vary. And those prices that I quoted you are the prices from my area where I live in New England, but prices are different around the country and of course in other countries. Speaking of which, if you don't live in the United States, there have been other colors that were released or are available in like the UK or Canada that we never got here, and probably vice versa. There's probably shades that you weren't able to get in the country that you live in. So just keep that in mind that, the companies do that. I wish they didn't. I wish it was just the same products available everywhere, because, you know, then if you see something in somebody's video, it's like, how come we don't have that shade here? Or, you know, that type of thing. So anyways, I might as well start with what I have on. I have one of these on in the crease today because I feel like this would be way too much to put all over. I have Smoldering Plum in the crease. And by the way, if you're not familiar with these for whatever reason, they're like a pressed pigment is the best way I can describe them. They come in these little pots with this little lid thing with a handle, and supposedly this is to keep it pressed down so that it doesn't loosen up and break apart and fall all over the place. I've never had any issues with that, but whatever. So this is Smoldering Plum. And the finish on some of these is different. Like some of them are shimmery, sparkly, glittery. Some are matte. Some are pearl. It's like all different finishes. It just depends on the color. So this is a glittery, sparkly, shimmery one. And you can see there's a couple different shades of plum in there. You know, a lighter and a darker one. So they're very dimensional type shadows. They're like a pressed powder, but not in the traditional sense. They're gorgeous. I just love them. I think these are definitely the best eyeshadows at the drugstore. So I have that in my crease, and then on my lids is a discontinued shadow that a brand that they used to sell, Ulta, they don't sell anymore. Any information for what I'm wearing is always listed in the description box if you ever want to know like the specifics. But yeah, I didn't want to use this all over because I thought it would be too much. Even though I put a lighter shade on the lids, it's still a pretty intense eye look. But you can use these wet or dry. I always use them dry because I don't know. I'm not a big fan of using shadows wet, but these are not the easiest shadows in the world to work with. They can give you some fallout issues, and they're not that easy to blend, but they're so beautiful that I feel like it's worth the effort. But in all honesty, I think the reason why I don't reach for them more often is not just because of what I was saying at the beginning of the video, but also because they are somewhat difficult to blend. They're extremely pigmented. Now this particular color is very dark, so this would be harder to work with than some of the lighter shades, but anyways. This is Smoldering Plum, and I have that, like I said, in the crease with a different brand of eyeshadow that's lighter in color, but the same type of color like a plum on my lids. And then something that I've been doing a lot lately is whatever the darkest color is in my look, I take a pencil brush and drag it along the lower lash line and then smudge it out. And then I just put my eyeliner on the waterline and the tightline. So if you're ever looking at the description box to see what I'm wearing, and you're like looking at the look that I have on, thinking to yourself, geez, that doesn't look like what she wrote in the description box. It's because I always take the darkest eye color in the look. In this case, it would be the Smoldering Plum, and run that along the lower lash line. So if it looks like I have two different colors going on down there, I do. All right, so enough about Smoldering Plum. The next one I'm going to show you is Liquid Diamond. This was not in their original line when they launched these. This was released later on. And this is definitely one of my favorites. I just think it's stunning. And what it is it's a shimmery, silvery lilac. They call it Liquid Diamond, but I don't feel like that's that accurate of a color name, because to me diamonds are just, you know, like a sparkly whitish color. They don't usually have a color mixed in with them, but I definitely see this as a silvery lilac, but it's beautiful. And I thought about doing that today on the lids with the Smoldering Plum and the crease, but I don't think lilac and plum complement each other that well. Let me show you. Because see, the plum has got some pinky, reddish, warm-ish tones in it, and then the lilac is very cool. So that's why I didn't wear those two together. But they're both gorgeous, but just different, you know, different types of purples. So that was Liquid Diamond. And yeah, don't leave these out with the covers off, because I think if you did, they would dry up and crumble. So make sure you keep the caps on them at all times. And I just put my finger on that little cover thing with the handle and just press down a little bit before I put the cover on. Make sure you put the covers on nice and tight, and you can have these for a long, long, long time. All right, next is Continuous Cocoa. And this is the deepest, darkest brown. It's not picking up as much. There you go. That's showing you the true shade right there. It's just a very, very rich, deep, dark brown. You could definitely use this as a liner, although I shouldn't say that because it does have shimmer in it, and I don't advise using anything with shimmer as a liner, because ever since I had that incident where I got like a sparkly pigment in a tear duct, and then I got like this lump inside my eye and everything. So no, scratch that. Don't use this as a liner. But you would use this then like to deepen up a look, use it on the outer corner. You could use it in the crease if you were willing to blend the heck out of it, but you could run it along underneath the lower lash line, and you could put it above your upper lash line and do it as a liner like that. But I definitely would not recommend putting this on the waterline or the tightline. But anyways, it's just a very rich, deep, dark brown with some shimmer in it, and that was Continuous Cocoa. It's funny because when you think of cocoa, you think of a brown color that has some red tones in it, but I don't see it. I don't see any red tones in this. So just in case you're wondering about that. All right, the next shade is Endless Pearl. And this is basically a highlight color. I wouldn't use this probably for anything else, but you could put some in your inner corners if you wanted to, or you could just do like a brow bone highlight, but that's really what this is. It's a shimmery beige, but it doesn't have a lot of shimmer in it. It's not one of those crazy, crazy ones. I'm going to swatch this one so you can see. This isn't super pigmented, so if you like a subtle, I really built that up, but if you like a subtle highlight, I'll show you what I mean. So see, it's not like a crazy highlight, but sometimes I like that. Sometimes I don't like to have a really intense highlight, but so this is a good subtle highlight shade. And I guess you could use that on your lids if you wanted to, but it probably wouldn't show up that well, but I do like that for a subtle highlight. All right, the next one is Bronzed Taupe. And that's what that looks like. That's a pretty good color description, I would say. I just realized that I wasn't swatching those others and probably should have. So there's Bronzed Taupe. See how some of these are super, super metallic, but I mean, look at that texture. Look at that finish, I should say. And this is the type of thing that, you know, depending on the angle that you're looking at it, it's going to look different. So a color like this, you could do just as a one eyeshadow look. And because your lids are shaped differently than your crease and so forth, when somebody was looking at you, it would look like this on the lids, and then in the crease, it would look like that. So it's one of those one eyeshadow looks that looks like you spent a lot of time on it, and it's really just one eyeshadow. So that's Bronze Taupe. This is a really, really good color. I'll go back and swatch the others for you too, because just by looking at the product in the pot, you really can't tell what the finish is. All right, so let's go back then. So Smoldering Plum, the one that I'm wearing, that's what that looks like. And that's too dark for me to do as a one shadow look, but if you are a woman of color and you have darker skin, that would probably be gorgeous on you. But for somebody with light skin, it's gonna be too much to just do as a one shadow look. And then but it's just a really, really pretty plum. You can see it's got a couple different shades of plum in it. And then I really should have swatched the liquid diamond. Oh my god. This is so gorgeous. So see, that's like a silvery lilac shade. Just so pretty. I almost died when I got that home the first time, when I bought it and swatched it for the first time. I was like, because you don't really see a lot of beautiful lilac eyeshadows out there, so that's a good one. And then let's see, I swatched Bronze Taupe and I swatched Endless Pearl, so the only other one that I didn't swatch so far was Continuous Cocoa. And this one has like a sheen to it. See, so it's not like shimmery, it just has like a sheen. So this would be a really good crease color and pretty easy to work with in the crease if you buffed out the edges. So that's Continuous Cocoa. All right, now back to where I left off. I've got two more to show you. The next one is Amber Rush. And this is, I'm going to say this is a copper. That's what that looks like. But this is a pretty wearable copper. When it comes to coppers, sometimes it's difficult for people to wear coppers that have a lot of orange in them. This one doesn't. So it's pretty wearable copper. So that's Amber Rush. Isn't that beautiful? Very, very wearable copper. Not a lot of orange in it. Sort of like a bronzy copper, I would say. And then the last one I have to show you, whoa, almost lost the cover on that one. The last one I have to show you is Iced Latte, and this one is good for a crease color. Oh, let me show it to you first. It's like a champagne gold. So I wouldn't wear this one all by itself. I would definitely put something in the crease with this. Continuous Cocoa would look nice. Or you could even do the Bronze Taupe. So that's Iced Latte. Yeah, I think that the continuous cocoa would look really pretty with that. You could even do the amber color, the bronze taupe, the continuous cocoa, or the amber would all probably look really good with that. But most people, when they do crease colors, they do matte, so the continuous cocoa would be the most traditional pairing, I would say. But these are my favorite L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. When they release limited edition collections and colors, usually they have some less traditional type colors in the collections. And so if you are somebody that likes pastels or really cool shades or bright colors, that type of thing, that's when you're going to see the more artistic type colors. But yeah, these are so, so nice, you guys. If you've never picked one up, you definitely owe it to yourself to get one. I mean, you can go to Walmart and get one for $5, $6, and they will last a long, long time because you need very little product, very, very intensely pigmented, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else important that I should tell you about this. I said they were difficult to work with. I find that when I work in the crease with these, what I like to do is I like to start with the e.l.f. crease brush, the small one. It's from the Studio line, I believe. That is just a small brush. You know what? Hold on. Let me go get the brushes that I use. I'm glad I checked because that wasn't the name of it. When I did my review of these when they first came out 4 years ago, I said that I like to use a sponge tip applicator to blend them in the crease, and that works, and it works well. But I like brushes, and I think most people do. So what I do is I start with the e.l.f. contour brush, and I just sort of deposit some in the crease and don't really get too precise about it. And then what I do is I go in with the e.l.f. C brush and I blend out the edges. Or if I have areas that have a lot of product, I might very lightly go over it with this. But the best thing to do is when you start off with this brush is just try not to pick up much product to begin with, because then if you don't pick up a lot of product to begin with, you won't have to worry about how you're going to blend this out, because like I said, these are extremely pigmented. So go easy. Just put the slightest little bit on your brush to begin with, and then I use this to blend out the edges. If you don't have the e.l.f. C brush, you're missing out, because whenever I get into a situation with working with eyeshadows that are super pigmented, if I didn't have this, I don't know what I would do. And I have, you know, expensive brushes too, but this is so amazing for just blending out your edges. So anyways, these two brushes. Oh, and then for my lids, I just use my finger. I just, you know, run my finger in the pot and then just kind of pat it on. So that's how I do it with these eyeshadows. And if you do it the way I explain, you won't get any fallout. But if you use other brushes or other methods, you might get some fallout. But I don't, because, you know, I've worked with these enough that I know what to do and what not to do. So those are my favorite shades of L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.